Finally, after a long Christmas break and taking a really long break just from YouTube in general, but also doing my interviews, we're finally back with another awesome interview. And I'm not gonna tell you about her or what she does because I'm really excited. It's something that I'm actually really interested in right this I can't talk in this season of life that I'm in right now, I guess. So, anyways, I'm just really excited about this interview. It's really gonna be really cool. Yeah, I'm glad that I finally got to do it after waiting for a little bit. Keep watching, and I'll see y'all on the video. We're back with another episode. I'm here with actually I'll let you introduce yourself. So if you want to say your name and your business.
So I'm Melody Simpson, and I'm the founder and owner of Green Mountain Farm.
All right. And when did you start Green Mountain Farms then?
Technically, it was 2019.
Okay.
My parents had always had a homestead / hobby farm since before I was born.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm the only sibling out of all my siblings who actually took it seriously.
Okay.
So in 2019 is when I was like, I want to do this for a living.
Right. Right. Okay. So you kind of were brought into it then, I'm assuming, with kind of growing up around it and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. I always say I blame my dad for my good addiction.
Gotcha. So the soap part of it, I saw that's really, really cool. Did you start making the soaps, or is that something that you were also kind of brought into?
I started that in 2019 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had 3 goats in milk, and American Alpines produce a lot of milk.
Okay.
So each of them was giving us about 1.5 to 2 gallons a day.
Oh wow.
And we were raising a pig and a cow on this milk, and we were still swimming in it. So my mom was like, you should research some ways to use it. And so that's when I found goat milk soap. I made my first batch and it was awful, but then I kept going, and as soon as I wasn't even thinking of a business, but my friends were buying it and they're like, we want some more. So I was like, okay, I'll make some more. And then it just kind of like accidentally happened.
Right. I feel like that's like the best business where you just kind of start as like let's try something new. And it just becomes that's really cool. So what kind of made you want to start doing the soaps then? Was it, I guess, what you said, just kind of researching ways to use that milk up then?
Yeah, at first it was just like, we have way too much milk, we need to use it. But then I guess it was around 2021, I really started researching the ingredients I was using in my soaps. And already I had so many customers saying my soaps was helping their skin.
Right.
But when I started looking at the fine line in all these ingredients, I was like, this is not good. I don't want to be putting this on my skin. I don't want my customers using it. So that's when I transitioned to all natural.
Okay. That's neat.
So now I have even more customers saying this is amazing for my skin. I'm not getting headaches from it and all this kind of stuff. So, instead of fragrance oils, I'm using essential oils. Instead of micas, it's botanicals. So,
that's really important. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that's kind of trending too, where we're starting to kind of realize what is not so great in all these store-bought products.
Yeah.
So I saw on your Facebook page, I saw that you were going to a couple festivals and stuff like that. When did you start kind of branching out into the pop-up shop type thing?
I guess that was probably 2021 as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I started in a farmer's market in Narrows.
Okay.
And I went there every week. It was a very great spot to start because it was small. But then I started getting invited to bigger festivals in Blacksburg and Christiansburg. So yeah, I branched out from just a small farmer's market to bigger festivals. Okay. Stepping out in Blacksburg was probably my biggest one. That's 2 days, and each day is 12 hours.
Oh wow.
Straight.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's definitely pretty big.
Yeah.
Nice. I know you have a website now, right? Was that kind of after you'd started the pop-up shops, or is it kind of in the midst of that?
That was after. That was the end of 2022, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my Christmas launch was the first thing to go on that website.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So, are you trying to work on, I guess, marketing for that website, just kind of drawing attention, or is it kind of more just a side thing?
Definitely marketing a lot. I mostly do Instagram. I try and do TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm not as technological for that, but and like I said, I've tried YouTube as well, and I still do a little bit on there when I have time.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely Instagram is my biggest, and I want to grow as much as I can.
Okay, yeah.
Since I'm in college, I can't. There's like a point that I'm going to get to where I'm like, I can't make any more soap.
Yeah, that's definitely a hard thing to manage.
Yeah, thankfully I haven't reached that yet, but
okay.
Yeah, and I'm also at 2 local stores, Eats in Blacksburg and Annie K's. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And what was the process in getting there then?
Yeah, so I reached out myself. Well, actually, multiple of my customers were like, "Why are you not selling soap there?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
I went and I emailed them, and I got in contact with the lady who does like body products and Eats.
Okay.
And so I went and met with her. We talked about pricing and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then I just started selling soap to her. And then I got in contact with Annie K's. I actually went to their ladies' night in November of 2022. I think so. The years are getting mixed up.
Yeah.
But after that, they're like, "We love your products. Like, can you come sell?" Yeah. So I started doing that late last year.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's awesome. So I guess for future wise, also, do you have anything that, like, I know you said you might get to a point where you probably won't be able to do it anymore with college and everything. Do you want to like kind of expand anymore, or is it kind of just something you want to keep the way it is?
Yeah. So my goal is a destination farm after graduation, which is in 2025. And on this destination farm, I'm still not exactly sure what I want to focus on.
Gotcha.
I'm 99% sure there will be goats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I love goats.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to focus primarily on dairy goats or just do a little bit of everything.
Okay. Yeah.
But until then, I am limited with resources and time, and I mean, we only have 4 acres.
Yeah.
So right now, it's kind of like I'm going to get to this point where I can't expand anymore. I'm going to be content with that until 2025, and then I will expand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Gotcha. Nice. So I guess on the goat side of thing too, the soaps is kind of, making the soaps and everything, but with goats is a lot more in depth as far as like are you like the primary caretakers of them? I saw that you kind of like, doing like the hoof trimming and like all those kind of things. So is that like your kind of main responsibility, I guess, with them?
Yeah. So I'm in 2020 or 2019, it was kind of like my dad and I would go do chores together. But after about a year, I started just taking primary control. Okay. But he still comes out and gets roped into things. Like today, we're gonna go clear woods. Okay. So yeah. Gotcha. But yeah, he loves it, I think. I hope.
And I do remember a question now. So back to the soaps. For your customers, do you find that you get a lot of like returning customers? I know like for me anyways, I feel like I would just, once I found a product that I really like, if it was like, your product that I was like really enjoying, then I would just kind of keep on buying. So do you think you kind of find that with your customers? Yeah,
I have a ton of customers that are definitely returning. Right now I'm still kind of in the growing phase, so I do have a lot of new customers.
Okay, yeah.
But I think especially with local stores like Eats and Annie K's, especially because they're like Whole Food stores, you kind of have that niche market where it's people who come every week to shop there and they get the same products over and over again. Okay, so I think within those stores I do have a lot of returning customers. And then of course online and at festivals I see faces that I'm like, oh hey, I know you. Yeah. So yeah, it's really cool to see returning customers and hear how my soap has helped them.
Yeah, that's awesome. With the soaps, what is like the process of making them? Is it kind of a time-consuming process? Or?
Yeah, it's pretty time-consuming. So from milk to soap, right now I am hand milking. I don't have any goats in milk right now, but when I do have them, I am hand milking. I'm hoping to get a milk machine to speed up that process. So I hand milk, and then I have to pour the milk I strain the milk, and then I pour it into ice cube trays to freeze it. Okay. And then I store them in baggies. So our chest freezer is like halfway full of goat milk right now. Gotcha. And then after that, you have to run a recipe through a lye calculator. Okay. Because it's a chemical process, and if you put too much of one ingredient, it could burn your skin. If you put too little, it could just turn into grossness. So you have to run it through a calculator. Okay. So I have my recipe, and then I take my goat milk and I add lye or sodium hydroxide into that. Okay. And it melts it down, and then you add that into your base oils, and then you mix it together. It emulsifies. Then you add in whatever you want to, pour it in your mold. It saponifies, and then you have soap, and you can cut it, and then cure it for anywhere between. Some people even do it for 2 weeks. I like 4 to 6 weeks. Some people are like a year. Pretty much the longer the better, because what you want is as much of that liquid to evaporate, and that makes the bar harder and it lasts longer. So with my recipe, 4 to 6 weeks is pretty good for me.
Okay, that's awesome. I always heard, like, I've never really gotten into it just because I've like so much stuff already, but but yeah, I've always thought that was like super cool, just the process and everything. For like the business side of things, I guess more like a marketing thing. But is there something that you think that, I know every business kind of has to have that one thing that's like, I don't know, like differentiates them from other businesses, or like what kind of stands out in your business? And I know, I'm sure it'd probably be like more like the natural side, where your soap is very like, natural, homemade, and everything like that. But is there anything specific that you think is like kind of differentiates you from everyone else?
Yeah, so it's definitely what people say all the time is to niche down. And I think that's very important with your business. Like, I'm not going to be selling random crocheted stuff and my soap. I tried that. It was way too much. So definitely within the business side of like actually selling the stuff, you want your niche market. And my niche market would definitely be, natural goat milk. And what I do that not a lot of other people do is natural soap that has goat milk and is also pretty. Like, I do soap art.
Yeah, that is pretty.
You don't see stuff like that. Like, I've made a Princess and the Pea soap, so I did like layers, and I had a pea in the middle, and then I had a little princess on top. Usually when you see soap art, it's not natural, or it's just got goat milk in it, so it's not. I've never seen a soap that is all three of those aspects together.
Right.
Online with like social media, I've recently found that niching down isn't actually helpful for me.
Really? Okay.
So recently I've gotten a lot of followers, and the only thing I've done different is switch my mindset from like professional business to, this is just a community. Like, I'm going to show you what I'm doing today on my farm and the soap studio. And people love that, because I've always say, like, instead of I'm posting a reel, I'm posting a real, like something that's actual real life. And I think that's what people are looking for on social media a lot, because everything's so fake these days.
Yeah, that is actually interesting you say that. I was just watching, like, I think it was a documentary or something about Red Bull, but they were talking about how every single one of their like reels on Instagram or whatever social media is all like, none of it's like selling their product. It's all like, just I guess what they do, like their sports and stuff like that. But they were saying that just kind of building that community of people and like like-minded individuals and stuff like that is more influential, I guess, than just like, here, buy my product.
You build that community, and once people see how hard you're working on this product and just hear you talking about it, they're going to be like, oh, I want to try it. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, where you're not like so specifically niche down that's like, well, I can't post this even though I really want to. It allows for creativity, and I've found a whole new level of community since doing that.
Awesome. That's really cool. I like that. I think that's definitely a lot more helpful, especially on social media nowadays. Just like being real is like way more important. On social media, I know you said you were kind of naming off what social media you use. What's like your main source of marketing from those social media platforms?
Definitely Instagram. That's where I'm finding the most growth and the most community right now. I like to kind of, I know every business is different, so what works for some don't work for others, obviously. But I like kind of hearing for everyone's, this is what works better. What is like the biggest thing you've learned? I know you've been doing this for a little bit now. What's like the biggest, it doesn't necessarily be a mistake, but like biggest thing that you've learned doing all these like trial and error kind of stuff? Oh gosh. Are we talking soap or goats or both?
Either.
Okay. Well, I think the biggest growth pain I went through was with the goats. I guess it was around 2019. I started losing goats. They were dropping like flies.
Oh wow. Okay.
And what I came to realize was, one, we had bad genetics. It was all from one goat. So in 2013, we got sisters, Isla, which I still have, and Zafrina. Zafrina had triplets, and then we kept one of them, and she had triplets. And one of my friends bought one of those triplets, and she had babies. Oh wow! All of them died.
Are you serious?
That I kept track of. So it was, and I was like, "What's happening? I don't know what's happening." So I was talking to vets and doing my own research. And what I came to realize was, we were doing poor management because with goats you have to deworm them. They're very susceptible to parasites, unfortunately, especially in climates like Virginia.
Okay, yeah.
Where it's like humid and wet and like right now today.
Yeah.
So what people tend to do is just throw dewormers at them, chemical dewormers.
Okay.
But what happens is the parasites become immune to these dewormers.
Gotcha. Okay.
So pretty much what your goal is to never have to use any of them, which comes down to genetics. But even with a goat that needs to be dewormed sometimes, you don't want to be deworming them on a schedule, because that's just over and over and over again. You're introducing this chemical dewormer to the parasites and they're just building up resistance. Soon you're going to have a dewormer that's not going to work at all.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's kind of what we were doing. And also the genetics played into it too.
Okay.
As I said, Safrina, all of her line died. And since then I was still struggling with this in like 2021, 2020, with breeding, because I was breeding Isla and I wasn't looking into these bloodlines of the buck, and so I was losing kids. So since then, especially with Astrid and Genesis, I really researched. I drove to Michigan to get Genesis.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm determined. So yeah, definitely that's one of the biggest struggles I went through, but I know now. And that's one thing I'm really passionate about, teaching others, because I'm like, I don't want you to lose your entire herd of goats. It's not fun.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Especially when you can help other people not do the same mistake, I guess. But
yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. Like through your, I guess, business years, did you ever have to go through like the whole COVID mess through any of that? Or was it kind of like after all of that happened?
I didn't really grow a lot in 2020. I think that was a big like learning experience for me. I technically launched a website, but it was awful. It wasn't really a website. It made like 3 sales probably.
Okay.
So, I was experimenting. With social media.
Okay. Kind of a learning process then.
Yeah. So I don't think I really technically grew that year, and also there weren't as many festivals to go to.
Right.
And at that time, that was my main income. So I kind of
Gotcha.
It was more just like making soap for fun as a hobby.
Yeah. I guess kind of nice that like small break of just being able to learn and grow that way too. Yeah. All right, so unfortunately the video had to end a little like the way it ended wasn't supposed to be the way it ended. My phone decided to cut off the ending of our video and we didn't get to finish. I don't think there was too many questions that were lost in this interview, but unfortunately it cut off Green Mountain Farms social media handles, usernames, whatever, and everything, and just it didn't end right because it was like cut off, I guess. So basically I'm explaining to y'all that the reason why I just cut off without saying anything at the end and just kind of random, my video cut off. So lovely, gotta love technology. So anyways, I'm more of a visual person, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put her usernames, her social media handles on the bottom of the screen, so y'all can go check her out because she's really cool, and her Instagram is really awesome. Her reels are really cool. She's just a super fun person to watch her story and her business and everything like that. So anyways, back to the whole interview part though. I actually really did enjoy that. That was super cool. I'm so sorry. I got a picture of the soap. I can put it there. Look at there. Anyways, she gave me soap at the end, which was super cool. I got like the oats and honey, I think it was oats and honey. It's really cool, and it's really good for my skin. I've been using it like all week, so it's really awesome. But yeah, so she was really cool to watch. If you watch the video, she really takes care of her, not just her business and her customers, but her goats, because she knows how important that is and how vital it is for her business. I hope y'all liked the video. Hope y'all stayed for the whole thing. And yeah, sorry about the cut off. That was weird. I did some storage stuff and moved everything around, so hopefully I got that fixed and that won't happen again. Also, you like that tractor trailer? Oh yeah, probably should focus on this. Anyway, so I gotta go, but yeah.